Namoy! It's your boy, Joinen. And today, we return to the animated world where this person... That was a proper accident. Jeez, and it worked so well too. I was saying all like animated world, this person, and then there I am animated. Wow, okay, that was an actual accident. This person woke up in her I'm just now realizing that this person woke up in her boss body, not her boss's body. This whole time I had it down in my list. Because I was like, that sounds funny, waking up in your boss's body. But this person woke up in their boss body. This will be fun. Well, we've committed now. This person woke up in their boss body. Maybe that is what it means. Oh, what on earth? Wait, what? This is like a quote? The worst part of success is trying to find someone who is happy for you. Okay. All right. I see where you're coming from. I've never seen this before. We're getting kind of deep with it. Getting all philosophical. Trying to learn a life lesson. We're getting the Dhar Man lesson at the start of the video, before the end. I am 14, and this is deep.
Being away from my abusive dad made me think that my life would finally become better, especially because my boyfriend was very loving and promised to help me with everything, including my financial problems. I was finally able to live a normal college life and even live it to the fullest. I was happy. I felt so lucky, so blessed, so privileged, but that didn't last for long.
No matter how hard I prepare, I am never prepared for the absolute onslaught of information that gets chucked at you at the start of one of these. It's so intense. Just straight into the abyss. Just thrown straight down in there. Massive black hole. Ah!
When I found out my BF was cheating on me, I got mad.
Oh, gosh.
I screamed. I broke things and left him for good. I got depressed for weeks, but I knew I needed to let it go and move on. I decided to start all over again and rely only on myself. And you know, life as a college student was not easy.
And then I woke up in another world, in another body. This is like the start. It's like the start of an isekai. This one's heavy, really quick. Really heavy, really quick.
And life as a struggling college student with an after-class office job in New York City was even harder. I worked the 4 to 11 shift at a big company office.
Big door.
It wasn't the best job in the world, and it barely helped me pay my bills and college dues, but it was better than nothing. However, someone had the pleasure of making my and my coworker situation much harder.
She might still wake up in her boss's body. It's about work. She's in a work situation. It might still be what I originally thought it was going to be.
Everyone hated Amelia. She was the manager of my branch and a complete rich girl. She would strut around the office asking
Amelia.
employees what they thought of...
She's going to wake up as Amelia.
As much information.
So much information. There's a lot of it. And they cram it in, which is, you know, kind of unexpected. Because you expect they want that watch time, but...
About the latest designer bag she had acquired, always stating the off-the-roof price it entitled. She would laugh at those who could not afford lunch while she ate expensive meals.
You can't afford lunch? What? What are they paying you? Nothing? That's hilarious. Because they're paying me a lot.
She was a despicable human and an even worse manager. And that evening, she was approaching my desk specifically. "Good evening," I stated, not even turning to look at her. "Good evening. Just wanted to let you know that the pay raise you requested was declined." My eyes widened.
And she thought it was hilarious. I'm telling you, it was declined. Dude, I'm sitting here eating magnificent lunches. And your pay raise was declined. You can't make this stuff up.
And this time I did turn around to look at her. "Amelia, you control the pay raises. I need the money. I can barely make it to the end of the month," I said, my eyes pleading. "That is not my problem," she spat back. "The company can't afford to lose that much money." I saw red as she left. "The company can't afford it, or you refuse to get paid less in order to live in your Barbie dream house."
Get paid less? That's not how it works. That's not how, like, businesses work. Company can't afford it, or you can't Give me some of your money.
I exclaimed and slumped back down in my chair. Tears started rolling down my cheeks. I was upset. I was furious. I looked at the time and realized that my shift was thankfully over. I grabbed my stuff and went home. Arriving home, I realized I didn't have anything to eat for dinner. I didn't have extra money either, so I decided to just go to sleep and start fresh the next morning. I put on an old t-shirt and shorts and laid down in bed.
Oh, she's gonna wake up in another body. We're not sure whether it's her boss body or her boss's body. Either way, another body.
So done with my life. So done with the struggle. So done with Amelia and her lack of consideration and empathy. I wished for once that she could feel exactly the way I felt, but I didn't have a lot of time to wish for anything else because soon enough...
Surely they're swapping bodies. This has to be a Freaky Friday. They have to be swapping bodies. The way they're setting it up. Amelia, she's all rich and I'm all not, and I wish that she could experience what I'm experiencing. They have to be swapping bodies. We need a poll. Before we continue, what's the swap? Boss body, boss's body. What do you think, Twitch chat? No spoilers. No spoilers if you've seen it. I just put that over there. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? It's everywhere. I just forgot how to drink water for a second. Joinen mouth glitch. I'm covered in water. All right. Either way, vast majority. We think it's boss's body. There we go.
I fell sound asleep. Waking up, something already felt weird. I was covered in a feather duvet and surrounded by fluffy pillows. Something that definitely did not belong in my usual bedroom. It didn't take...
Hold on, now I'm even more confused. I actually don't know which way it's gone yet. Because she looks like herself, but now she's waking up in a different spot. Is it neither?
Me long to jump up from the comfortable bed to realize that I was not where I was supposed to be. The room was white and big, and it looked like it belonged to a millionaire. Big bed, enormous amount of space, and probably an in-suite bathroom as well. I furrowed my eyebrows.
Did you say in-suite? We're not in the boss's body, we're in the boss's house? Imagine that as the plot of a movie. Instead of a body swap, it's a house swap. I woke up in my boss's house, and then I went to work, and they were like, did you wake up in my house? And like, yep. And then we just went back home after that. And that was that.
Browse in confusion. What was I doing here and who did this room belong to? But I didn't have time to think because the alarm on my phone went off. However, it wasn't even my phone. It was an expensive phone. One of those I just knew I couldn't afford. I turned it off and sat for a minute to process. I had not drank because I couldn't afford to party. I had not been kidnapped because I was very sure I wouldn't have been put in a room so nice. And I was not delirious either because everything felt very true around me. I stood up and inspected the room.
I am not delirious, for everything feels true.
There were no pictures, no marked items, nothing that would give me clues to find out who the room, the phone, and everything that surrounded me belonged to. I walked out of the room in the outfit I was wearing. That was surprisingly the same scrawny t-shirt and shorts I usually...
Wait. The same thing you're wearing? I thought it was going to be like, as soon as she sees herself in the mirror, then we're going to see what she actually looks like, and it's going to be her boss's body.
Wore to sleep. I was in a penthouse overlooking the Hudson River and with an outstanding view of the Statue of Liberty. I was alone, and there was a silence that was almost deafening. Another voice spoke up, making me jump. It's 9:30. Time to go to work. It was a...
It's an Alexa. You can get this like $30.
Smart speaker. I looked at the clock on the wall. Indeed, it was 9:30, and I couldn't afford to miss a day of work. Whoever's house this was, she had the same work schedule as mine. I wondered what to do. I didn't know if I was supposed to go find out who had placed me in that room while I was asleep, if I was to go to my actual home and get some answers, or simply just go to work and not lose the amount of money I couldn't afford to lose for one day.
Life swap? Okay, you guys saying life swap? Does that mean she's gonna like appear at work and then everyone's gonna be calling her whatever that other woman's name was? Does the other one know what happened? I'm so confused.
I thought maybe if I go to work, some people can clear up my doubts. Tell me who this house belongs to. It sounded like a good idea. Since I did not have time to go home and get clothes, I would just take some clothes from the owner's closet. I needed to find out what was going on. I walked back into the room, hoping to find what to wear and hoping that something would fit. Her closet was very different from mine. A big white closet that displayed every designer brand you could think of. Bags made of expensive materials.
Desire brand. Got them Gucci slides. Surely them Gucci slides.
Coats and dresses that belonged to a runway show. Jewelry displays that screamed, diamonds are a girl's best friend and could leave a person blind with their shine. Objects I knew I would not be able to afford by myself. Business suits and heels caught my eye very very quickly. Fortunately for me, whoever owned this house had the same work style as mine.
It's your boss. It's your boss. Come on. Come on, we know it's your boss.
Meaning she possibly worked a similar job as me. It was curious, the amount of small similarities we shared. Either way, I put on a dress and a pair of heels and walked out the door, ready, or so I thought, to take on Amelia and her snobbiness. Walking into work, I was surprised that no one had noticed the changes. I was wearing designer heels, and the dress I was wearing looked too nice to belong to me, which
No one's like, oh, dang, is that Gucci? You wearing some sweet Fendi?
gave me a strange sense of confidence I had found myself lacking. I approached my desk to find someone already sitting there. To my dismay, it was Amelia. "Good morning, Amelia," I greeted her, and she looked up at me. Her face was red and puffy as if she had been crying. She did not even look up at me. "Good morning," she growled, focusing on her work again. "Why are you sitting at my desk?" I blurted out, and she looked at me with an incredulous face. Standing up, she crossed her arms in disgust. "Aren't you funny, making fun of your employees when you know your situation is so much better?"
Okay. Life swap. Not body swap. Life swap. But she's the only one who knows it.
I looked at her in confusion. My eyes roamed her outfit. I recognized the cheap suit and the tattered kitten heels. My world froze for a moment, and a crazy thought popped into my head. What if Amelia and I had changed lives? It was insane and ridiculous, but there
Oh, well, good. Nice. I'm gonna keep living like this. No harm, no foul. You know, I didn't choose it. It just happened.
was no other possible answer. She was sitting at my desk, wearing my clothes, doing my work. Amelia as a manager was hated by everyone in my office, and now I felt hated. I thought of sharing my insanity, but Amelia was staring me down.
Clickbait title. The title is still, there's a couple questions about it because, like, yeah, I woke up in my boss body. I think we were right in that it's supposed to mean boss's body, but it's not the boss's body. It's the boss's life. I wouldn't call that clickbait because it's like, it's similar enough, surely.
She looked upset that she had lost her royal life, and for once I did not care. "I am sorry." Those were words no one ever heard Amelia say. "It was not my intention to make you feel that way." She rolled her eyes at me. "Whatever," she said, and sat down to continue working. I walked to what used to be Amelia's office, now mine, and sat down on the comfy chair. A lot of thoughts ran through my mind, and I was very curious about what had
Like, how on earth do I do my job? I've never worked a day in this position before.
happened between me and Amelia. Somehow I had stolen Amelia's life and had given her mine. I was now a high-class manager and she was a struggling college student. How did things like that even happen? However, another train of thought rushed through me. I can use my new position to make things better. Change the story. Someone interrupted my train of thought. Philip, the assistant, came in. He was always fearful around Amelia. He was shaking and quiet as he entered the room.
Here's your coffee. Philip! You made it too hot again! And I asked for soy milk!
"Your coffee, miss," he said, setting
Why wouldn't Amelia just demand that she have her position back? Because Amelia doesn't remember. That's what I'm saying. Amelia doesn't know. This one, whoever the main character's name is, she's the only one who knows.
a cup down on my desk. "Good morning, Philip. How are you today?" I beamed with joy. He looked at me, his eyes widening. "I am good, thank you, miss." He smiled and then left the room. My plan had to work. After work, I decided to indulge in the richness of Amelia's, or now my, life. I went back to her apartment and took a big bubble bath. Roaming through her fridge, I found an expensive bottle of champagne and an already made dinner. I looked into her bank account and
I'm so rich. I've got a refrigerated meal in my fridge. I've got a microwave meal. Boy, this is the life.
was shocked with the income Amelia had. I went window shopping with a strange feeling of knowing that I could buy anything I wanted. I had struggled with money most of my life, and being allowed to have some treats felt like heaven. I went back to sleep in the big duvet-clad,
$30,000?
fluffy pillow-filled bed that night.
Hold on, can we get captions on that one? What? Where's the captions? There's not even any order.
I went back to sleep in the big duvet-clad, fluffy pillow-filled bed that night.
I'm trying to repeat it. It's just so many words. The big duvet.
I went back to sleep in the big duvet-clad, fluffy pillow-filled bed that night.
The big duvet-clad, fluffy-filled bed that night. Big duvet-clad, fluffy pillow bed. There we go.
As much as I loved Amelia's life, I knew that money came from hard work and that it does not buy happiness.
Fluffy-filled bed. Wait, everyone's getting it differently. The big duvet-clad, fluffy-filled bed.
However, Amelia did not know that. She was only a manager because her grandparents used to own the company, and all her money came from their wealth. In comparison, Amelia hadn't worked a day in her life. The next few days, I worked on adjusting to my new life while trying to figure out why and how I was suddenly living in luxury. I also tried helping others and changed the atmosphere in my office. I smiled and acknowledged my employees and their hard work. I gave people chances to work hard and grow in the business.
She's gonna like do all this work and get everyone super fond of her, and then like the swap, it's gonna switch back. I say live the life. I say take the money. Look, take the money. I know this is super morally corrupt. I'm just saying she's not Amelia, whatever, apparently not a nice person. Take the money, put it in some like bank account or whatever that only you know how to have access to, so that if you ever swap back, you still have the money. I mean, I know that's kind of theft, but I don't know. Do we vibe with that? Is that bad? Would only a bad person do that? Surely some of it. You'd take some of it because like it's the perfect crime. What are they going to do? Jail you for swapping bodies?
Treated everyone with kindness. However, for some reason, Amelia's former behavior was not being forgotten by my coworkers. The luxury life.
No, it's fine. It's a vibe. We vibe with it. All right, good.
Life became disgusting really soon, to my dismay. People started using me for money, asking me for favors, and talking behind my back. As good of a manager as I could try to be, the income I made was still envied, and everyone around me would just look at the money instead of my personality, with the remains of Amelia's.
She got $1 billion? Has she got $1 billion? Why is she working as a manager somewhere? Go and live your life. What are you doing?
Horrible disposition always lingering. That made me sour. To my horror, I realized I was turning into Amelia myself. I had tried to be kind and I had always been rejected. My behavior around people soon became snappy and entitled. I was not able to ignore the horrible comments that were made about me. The amount of hatred was turning me into a distasteful, angry person, and Amelia's riches were not the answer. That wasn't myself, and I knew it, and I hated every single part of it. The big breaking point was one afternoon. Someone knocked.
This is some real quick character progression. Like, there's no reason for it. It's just like, and everything was going really well, and I was doing really well. And then I just decided everything against this is bad. I'm really bad, and everything about this is bad. I've got a lot of money, and I'm just like her.
Knocked on my office door. Come in, I said, and Amelia walked in silence. Her head was down, and she was shuffling her feet as if she was shy. She sat down in front of me. How can I help you, Amelia? I asked. She looked at me, and a tear rolled down her face. I need help, she said. I am struggling. I can't pay my rent anymore. I'm about to get kicked out of my apartment, and I can't adjust to this new life. I really can't.
Wait. New life? Wait. What? That seems like an important plot point. She knew this whole time? I feel like they should have established that a little bit earlier on. That makes this whole situation so much weirder.
I nodded. I don't really know how this happened, Amelia, but I know what you're going through. And instead of doing what you would have done in this case, I am going to do the opposite. I am going to promote you. Amelia's eyes widened, and a smile glowed on her face. You are? She asked in disbelief. Yes, but just because I understand what it's like to struggle, and I don't want that for you. I am showing you why kindness matters. Thank you, she smiled.
Why kindness matters? What are you talking about? You've got all of her money. You're living in her house. What do you mean kindness matters? You know what? Fine. I am a nice god. I will allow you this promotion, but I'll still keep all your stuff and your entire life and your boyfriend.
I could tell that she was really thinking about my words. She stood up and walked out. Even though everyone at the office still hated me, I was certain that helping Amelia was the right thing to do. Even with my newfound luxury, I would have never wished a constant struggle to anyone.
You're so nice. You're so nice. You're the perfect person.
Amelia really improved with her promotion. She was able to pay rent and pay her college dues. She worked harder than ever before, and she became extremely kind to everyone around her. She even saved enough money to treat herself to small luxuries, like going on a holiday, where she actually found love. In a way, I was jealous of her.
Girlfriend. Okay.
Yes, she didn't have a big bank account, but people had actually grown to like her. She had a purpose and a life worth living, now filled with joy and happiness, much different than me. Months went by, slowly and painfully. The loneliness was killing me, and I was getting tired of the luxury life. I couldn't find a way.
Getting tired of the luxury life. It's such a bummer. Having all this money, living in such a nice apartment, living the life, being a manager. Getting tired of it. You know what? Let's swap back. She's a lesbian. Yeah, it actually crossed my mind. I was like, and your boyfriend. And I was like, But what if she had a girlfriend and then she did?
Way out of it, or an answer to how I had stolen Amelia's life and given her mine. I grew more desperate with every day that passed. For once, I missed
Boy.
my normal.
What's with this?
Grew more desperate.
Boy. Nani?
With every day that passed. For once, I missed my normal struggling life. It was cold one night, and the penthouse was even colder. I settled in between the duvet and the pillows, the only comforting and nice thing I could find about living in Amelia's shoes by then. I was exhausted and depressed, and all I wished was that I could go back to my normal life, even with its bad things. I woke up the next morning. Shock creeped on me when I realized I had woken up in my old apartment, wearing the same t-shirt and shorts I had changed lives with, lying.
Yay! Yeah, I'm boring it. This is the best. What is the moral here? Wait, no, we know the moral. It was the thing at the start.
In my old, uncomfortable bed. It had all been a dream. I sat up. It was the same unsettling feeling I'd had when I found out I was living Amelia's life, but I smiled. I had missed my old life. I walked into work with a skip in my step. I was oddly happy to be back to being a struggling college student, and I was strangely looking forward to my previous job as an intern. My desk looked the same, and everyone around me looked like they had before. And to my surprise, no one hated me. Instead, they were happy to see me, which felt very strange but heartwarming at the same time. However, I knew every dream had to have a nightmare. I was called to Amelia.
Nah, Amelia's gonna be changed. She's gonna be all changed and stuff because she lived your life for a little bit. Then just...
His office. I walked to her office with this wrenching feeling that my newfound happiness was going
Right, the whole thing was that, like, the success, no one's happy for you and your success. That was the takeaway message right at the start.
to be cut off immediately, and knocked on the door. "Come in!" Amelia's voice was squeaky and entitled again, and I certainly did not like it. I walked in and sat in front of her. She breathed out, as if preparing to give an important speech. "I am going to promote you," she started. My world went blank
Wow.
for a few seconds. I'm
Thank you,
sorry?"
Amelia.
I asked, not believing what I had just heard. A promotion would mean possibly solving a lot of my financial problems.
No, but you enjoyed those. You specifically wished for them, and the wish came true. If I were you, I'd start testing out these wishing things before you go to sleep. Head to the boss. No, actually, you're going to promote me, but you're also going to give me $10,000 more than you were going to, because legit, we swapped lives just because I wished it before I went to sleep. You don't think I'll do it again?
"This is difficult and strange for me to admit," Amelia said, "but I think I know what you're going through." I tried to process what she was saying. It oddly reminded me of my dream. "I have to ask you something crazy, but you really need to listen," I said, and started telling her everything. About the dream, about how everything had been different. I asked her for kindness and told her that I knew that inside her was a girl who wasn't horrible and knew the value of hard work. Something in my story interested her because she listened all the way through without talking. I left her office with a signed promotion.
I'm so confused. Did she know or did she not know? Just make it clear to us.
And a smile on my face. However, before leaving, I turned around to notice an upset expression, as if she was missing something. "Amelia," I asked, and she looked up at me with curious eyes. "Me and some girls are going to dinner after work on Friday. Maybe you can join. It's not going to be anything very expensive, probably a bottle of wine and Chinese takeaway while singing karaoke." I laughed, "But it's good fun." A surprising smile grew
Sounds
on
fun.
her face, and she nodded. "Yeah, I think I will join," she said, and I saw her smile stay for a few seconds as I closed the door. I left her office 2 hours later, smiling, feeling positive.
The girlfriend, you're right. What happened to the girlfriend? She found love.
If I had gone through to her, and indeed I had. Amelia started being kind to everyone, even me. She had come to the dinner, and she turned out to be more fun than everyone thought, loved Chinese takeaway, and just needed real friends who wouldn't care about money. She gave amazing opportunities, and my
What happened-
coworkers started looking up to her as an example. She even found love in a guy from my brand.
What? What? Meanwhile, there's some girlfriend absolutely distraught that one day her girlfriend woke up and never talks to her ever again.
She looked happy, as did everyone else. It was turning out to be like my wishes, and I was elated. As for me, I found myself in a home decor store. I looked around, thinking about how much money I had made with my new promotion. Enough to pay my bills and college debt. I decided to treat myself and bought a white, cozy duvet and a bunch of fluffy pillows.
What about the girlfriend? What? That's such an open-ended plot point. Is anybody going to talk about that? Nobody cares about that. These are totally real stories. Yeah, no, we're past that. Nobody believes these are real anymore. Anyway, make sure you subscribe to the Joinen Chats channel. We chat. We talk about things. It's just like chilling out, just chatting. There's also a gaming channel. They're both linked down below. Make sure not to miss the new big event. There's a big event that I am holding on Twitch. It's going to be Friday the 13th, so that it's easy to remember, 12 p.m. Except for the fact that it's not that easy to remember, because if you live in the US, it's actually the day before, like 10 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to be declassifying another Joinen video that cannot be shown on YouTube due to copyright purposes. Completely disallowed from being shown on YouTube. Not just not monetizable, can't even be shown. So that's why we're showing it over on Twitch. 7-second riddles. It is the final video about 7-second riddles and about how their channel is dying. Make sure you're there. It's gonna be fun.